So guys, we all know that girls do some shit to test how confident you actually are. They're going to test you. They're going to see, is this guy actually confident? And sometimes, low key, girls will do things to try to emasculate you to see if it'll work. They're not doing it to try to emasculate you. It's not us versus them, but they will genuinely try to do things just to kind of see what they can get away with. This goes for if you're married. This goes for if you have a girlfriend. This goes for if you're just talking to a girl at a bar mid-approach. And there are tests that women will throw at you. I actually got all of these. I got this tier list pretty much from YBC Too Cold. His channel is pretty good. It's a little more red pilled than I would like personally. So I'm going to give my perspective on a lot of these shit tests and tell you where they fall in terms of difficulty. There's an important distinction to make here. The first thing to understand is that all these shit tests, pretty much you can pass by either making fun of them and leaning into them and using humor, or you can just fucking ignore them. That is most of them. And then some of these are not even going to be shit tests. They're just going to be straight up disrespectful or rude or just something that you should avoid in general and move on, or there's just a sign of disinterest. And I will be ranking those as well because some of those don't even fall under shit tests, and a lot of guys commonly think that they are shit tests. So like I said, first thing to understand, with a lot of this stuff, it's not even that it's difficult to say the right thing for these shit tests. It's just hard to emotionally regulate enough to be able to pass these shit tests. So I'm going to rank them in terms of difficulty. And right on cue, at the end, I'm going to take this gay test so I can figure out if I'm gay, straight, or bisexual. Now, let's get into it. First shit test, pulling away. All right, fellas. Now, this one, in terms of what to say, is rookie difficulty, very easy. But it's not very easy because if you really like the girl and she pulls away, which every girl will pull away at some point, she will pull away, she will do something, she will need some time alone, she will need some space, whatever, and she will not do this on purpose to test you, but it is the first test that you're always going to have to pass, no matter what. No matter if this girl is your fucking wife, she's going to pull away at some point, and you need to be okay with her pulling away, and you need to let her pull away. This is how you handle the shit test. You just don't talk to her for that time. You just let her have that space. And the reason that this is so important, and it's so important not to chase, not to try to entertain her more, not to try to get her validation or attention, is because she will come back and she will chase harder if you just trust the process. But this is actually final boss difficulty because it's so difficult to emotionally regulate yourself when you do really like a girl to not chase even more. I promise you, pulling away is the easiest shit test to pass, but it's also the hardest because the more you like the girl, the more serious the relationship is, the harder it is, the hotter she is, the more you want to, chase. And this is why it's so important to have options so that when you're initially dating, you can go out and talk to other women, keep your mind off of it. And then also, whenever you're in a relationship, she knows and you know that if she pulls away, or if she breaks up with you or whatever, that you will be fine without her. That is ultimately kind of what women want, is they want to know that you will, you have the ability to get other girls if you want to. The next shit test is trying to argue with you. I would say this is kind of advanced because you never want to get into a debate. You never want to Ben Shapiro or Destiny your way into a debate with a girl and dunk on her and be right. There is pretty much no benefit to being right when it comes to a girl. You don't need to just supplicate and be like, yeah, no, you're right, I totally agree, and follow along with everything she says. But you can just say, I'm not going to argue with you about this, and just move on. Now, this is different if you think about it after a while and you realize, damn, yeah, you actually were right. That was a good point. I'm gonna stop killing puppies. I think that's probably a bad thing to do. Then sure, this is a great thing to do. A masculine and confident guy is going to be able to shift his worldview, even if a woman, this is like the red pill shit, women can't tell you what to do, they're never right. That's wrong, obviously. A lot of women actually do a lot of women are very smart and very educated and know things and have different perspectives, and generally are going to be more empathetic, so they might have a better perspective than you on stuff. But never get into an argument when she's trying to argue with you, especially if she's this is a little different, but trying to start a fight. If she's trying to start a fight, then you just call it out, be like, you're trying to start a fight right now, I'm not going to do it, and then just ignore it and move on, and just keep the vibe fun. That is the most important thing. One thing I say to my wife is, I'll just be like, you're fucking causing trouble right now, stop. And I'll just say it like that in a playful way. And she'll be like, what do you mean? And then we'll move on. And it's not really a big deal. Okay. So this is difficult though, because we're guys. We like to be fucking right. And we don't like to be wrong. We're not hooking up tonight. This is usually going to be on like a first date, second dates. You're going back to her place. This is more, this is kind of, honestly, this is kind of rookie difficulty. This is not very hard to handle. You just need to make sure that you are genuinely okay with not hooking up with her. And all you have to say is, okay, yeah, it's totally fine. We're not going to do anything you're not comfortable with. And then as things escalate when you get back to her place, you just verbally escalate and you put her in a position where she wants to physically escalate on you. And you can actually, contrary to what red pill dorks will say, you can actually verbally escalate and verbally get consent in a very sexual and hot way. Like, I will ask girls like what they want me to do to them in like a very dominant way that's not super submissive. So instead of, may I now kiss you, my princess, which is like super cringe way to get consent, one thing that you can do is like, you want me to kiss you right now, don't you? And then you can be like, hey, come here. And then she comes to you to kiss you. Or before you have sex, do you want me to fuck you right now? Do you want me to put my dick in you? Like, I know it sounds fucking crazy. Like, maybe I gotta take the gay test, but you can literally say, do you want me to put my dick in you? And she will say yes. And you say please. And then now she's like, oh fuck, yeah, please. And so now you have like express verbal consent. It's fucking banger, right? That is the best way to handle this. It's not very hard. You just need to be able to relax. When she tries to take control of the frame, I'm going to say this is advanced because a lot of guys don't know how to handle this. This might even be final boss difficulty, but like the frame is just the person that's leading the interaction. When she tries to take the lead, all you have to do is just not react. So an example of a girl trying to take the frame is she tries to tell you what to do. Maybe she'll say something like, hey, go do that. All you have to do in this situation is not react, which is very emotionally difficult to do, but you just don't react and you say please. Or what are you going to do to make it up to me? Make her do something to get that thing out of you, even if it's not something that's that big of a deal. And now you have the frame back and you have the power back and you're still the leader, which is very fucking important. Being dry. I will say honestly, when girls are dry with you, it's usually not a shit test. It's just a sign of disinterest. But one thing you can do to test if it is a shit test, you can just say something along the lines of like, wow, are you like always this boring? And just say it in like a playful way. Or hey, are you tired? Like asking if she's tired. And if she's actually interested, then that's going to wake her up and be like, oh shit, I must be being boring. I need to step it up with this guy or else I'm going to lose his interest. Next thing, asking you to hold her purse. This is kind of a subtle shit test. And a lot of guys, I think, like in the YBC video, he was talking about how like never hold her purse, it's bad. And basically being like pretty red pilled about it. Not like super hardcore, but just like don't ever do it. And I think that there's a nice middle ground between it's totally not a big deal and you should never do it ever. One thing I would say is like a lot of this stuff, when she ever asks you to do something, I put this in intermediate because whenever she asks you to do something where it kind of can emasculate you, all you have to do is put her in a position where she has to do something extra in order for you to do it. Like say please, and then if she says please with like an attitude, you'd be like, no, like really, you need to mean it. And then she'll be like, please. And now she's like back in her feminine and you can hold on to her purse while she goes to the bathroom or whatever the fuck. Okay. Other things like asking you to hold her phone. Like if your girlfriend's asking you to like hold her phone, just put her phone in your fucking pocket. Like she doesn't want to carry it around all night. She probably doesn't have a purse. She has like a skirt or a dress on. She doesn't want to carry a bag. It's fine. And you can just hold on to her phone. It's really not a big deal. You seem like a player. This one I'm going to put in intermediate difficulty because a lot of guys don't know how to handle this. And especially if you don't have a lot of experience, it's going to feel like it's a really bad thing. It's really not. If a girl says you feel like, you know, she feels like you're a player, if you actually do have a lot of experience with women, you can just say something like, yeah, I don't know, maybe. Like some girls say that, like, I don't know. I like to go on dates and meet new people, but, you know, I'm not really, I'm not going to hook up with you if, I'm not going to try to hook up with you if I don't like you. That's really all you have to say. And then if you don't have a lot of experience, but you're coming off very confident that day or whatever, all you have to say is like, yeah, I don't know. Like girls have been telling me that recently. I think I've just been confident lately. I really I really don't date that much. That's all you have to say. Or, yeah, I'm just like a pretty confident person, but I really don't date that much. And that's all you have to say in that situation. Jealousy test. I would say, honestly, this is either very difficult to deal with if it's a shit test. Like if she's talking about another guy, like while you're on a first date, just to test how confident you are. One question you can always ask yourself is like, how would the most confident guy in the world act in the situation? The most confident version of myself act? And for the most part, it's just going to be to kind of act like it's not really a big deal and like you don't fucking care. But if she keeps going on about it, then it's really just a sign of like disrespect or disinterest. I'm kind of waffling between these two. I would say generally it's something that you might as well handle it like it's a shit test. But if it happens 2 or 3 times within the first date, she's like jealousy testing you over and over, she's probably like kind of a toxic person, and I probably wouldn't date her. But yeah, you can kind of handle it as like a shit test. But it's very hard to not react to this. This is one of the things that I probably had the most trouble with just dealing with, because I was pretty insecure when I first started learning how to talk to women and getting better with girls. The next one, gradually walking away mid-approach. This one is, I would say, like intermediate. This is not that hard. All you have to do, shout out Avilo, my editor, roll the clip of Tristan Social's video. It's pinned on his Instagram. It's the top video. It's like 60 million views of him staying in the pocket.
Excuse me. I think all 3 of you are very beautiful, but you especially.
Thank you.
Yeah. Where are you from? Where's your energy from?
Georgia.
Georgia? Wow, I'm Tristan. Nice to meet you. You have to go? Or are you choosing to go? You have to go. How long are you here for? 4 days? You like coffee?
My number.
Okay, so staying in the pocket is really all you have to do, guys. Like, all you have to do if a girl's walking away mid-approach and she's still talking to you is just stay in the pocket. And you can even say, like, wait, no, 2 minutes, come back. And a lot of times she will. Or if you just keep talking to her and you keep pushing forward to try to make plans, then you can just call her back, or she will come back to give you her number. It's really not that big of a deal. But it can be difficult because if you don't have confidence and your confidence breaks, she actually will walk away because she's like, oh, he's not actually that confident. Disagreeing with you. I'm going to put this a little lower than trying to argue with you, because really all you have to do is just not turn this into a debate. That's all you have to do is just like let it go and not make it a big deal without supplicating. So you can't supplicate and be like, no, yeah, honey, you're right, or whatever the fuck. You can't do that, but it's not that hard to deal with. Insulting you. If it's playful, I'm going to put this in intermediate as well. Insulting you in like a playful way, I think that's fine. If she's just insulting you in general, then like it's just a sign of disrespect and it's kind of weird and just not good. But I'm going to say insulting you in a playful way is probably on the higher end of intermediate, because it can be difficult to deal with, especially if you don't have super high self-esteem or high confidence. But I'm going to generally say it's not that difficult to deal with. My biggest advice for guys that are struggling with girls, like giving them shit and insulting them, is like really just play into it, right? Like if a girl jokes about, I don't know, makes a joke, like I'll even make jokes, especially if you deliver it in a very confident way. You can make jokes about like, oh yeah, my dick is like super small. Like I'll just make jokes like that and it's totally fine. That can be a good way to handle it. It's just like, if she's like, oh yeah, you're I don't know, I don't like, oh well, we're gonna get into I don't like XYZ type of guy in a second, but if she like gives you shit about your hair or whatever, you just make a joke out of it. Like, yeah, I'm actually just gonna shave it off. So like it's not a big deal. And you just brush it off with humor and kind of ignore it. Apology fishing, this is actually very difficult, because if a girl like tries to make you apologize over and over and over again, it's very easy to just say, well, I can just say sorry and I'm done with it. But I would say in general, as a rule, if you're a really nice guy, just go through a phase of 3 months of just never apologizing for anything. There's obviously room for apologizing. Where you can apologize is apologize for the action that you took. Apologize for the thing that you did that you're genuinely sorry for, that you're like, my bad, that wasn't my intention. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry that happened. You can apologize for those things, but don't apologize for who you are as a person, because ultimately it's just going to come off like very beta-y and like super gross to women in general. Like you're just trying to do this to get her to stop being mad at you or whatever, and it's going to come off kind of bad. I only date guys who insert something you're not. So I only date guys that are tall. I only date guys that are, well, no girl would ever say she only dates guys that are white because she sounds super racist. But like I only date black guys or only date XYZ type of guy. This generally, when women say this, it really is just to test your confidence. Again, ask yourself, like, if I was the most confident version of myself, how would I handle this? How would I handle this situation? And a lot of times it's just like, yeah, but you never met me though. Like, well, I guess it's time to start something new. Like, you can just ignore it and move on and push through it. It's really not a big deal. But a lot of guys will get like deer in the headlights as soon as a girl says this because they're going to try to logic their way out of this, and it just doesn't work that way. Showing up late, I would just say either it's not a big deal because she's like 2 minutes late and she texts you ahead of time and it's not a big deal, or it's kind of like a sign of disrespect or disinterest. All you have to do in this situation is if she shows up a little bit late, you just give her a little bit of shit about it. Like, hey, listen, if that happens again, I will have to, maybe on a first date, you can't say kill our entire family or something. But you can say something kind of ridiculous like, you know, hey, I'm gonna have to put you in timeout if you do that again. Okay, I'm just gonna let you know now, right? And you say that, and it's fine, and it puts you in like the dominant position, and it shows that you have a backbone, but you're not like super butthurt about it. All right. Posting another guy on social media. If you guys are not dating, honestly, it's not a big deal. I don't really care. This stuff is not a big deal. She's probably not even thinking about you when she does it. Or, yeah, like in general, it's a sign that you guys are not serious and you should move on and still be dating other women, and you shouldn't care in general because you have so much abundance. Or it's one of those things where like you guys are dating, like it's pretty fucking disrespectful. You should probably break up with her, to be honest, posting other guys on social media. Crossing boundaries. This is very, very difficult to deal with, mostly because most guys don't know how to set boundaries properly without coming off super fucking butthurt. All you have to do is be willing to genuinely walk away. Be willing to genuinely walk away in the situation. Like if you get to a point where a girl's crossing your boundaries consistently over and over and over, and you keep telling her, hey, this is a boundary for me, and she keeps crossing it, you need to break up with that girl straight up. But initially, if she tries crossing boundaries at first, what I would say within the first 1 to 3 dates, if she's crossing some boundaries, you just say, hey, this is my boundary. Like, don't do that. And then you just stop talking to her. You go full ghost and you don't talk to her anymore. Like if she does it more than once or twice, like that's it. Once she understands where the line is and she's constantly testing the line and she crosses it, you just need to walk away, and that's it. And most guys are not in enough abundance to actually do this. But yeah, I mean, this is like kind of just straight up a sign of disrespect, but it's also very difficult initially. Like when a girl crosses a boundary and she doesn't know it's a boundary yet, you just need to like set the boundary, let her know like, hey, don't do that. And then move on, move forward. And it's really not a big deal. It's like if I came up and I did something that you really didn't like my business partner, he doesn't like it when you wear shoes like in his apartment. And like one time I forgot to take off my shoes because I like normally would do that. And he never told me before. He's like, hey man, don't wear shoes in the house. And then from then on, I just like remembered. And I think one other time I forgot, and he's like, hey man, take your shoes off. I'm like, oh fuck, yeah, my bad. And then I just did it, right? But I'm not doing it purposely to like test the boundary, or else that would be weird, and you should probably never be around me ever again. Breaking up with you out of nowhere. This is just a sign of disrespect. If someone breaks up with you out of nowhere, fuck that person. They're a piece of shit. Fuck them. You know, we don't like them. They're going to go to hell for that. Yeah, fuck them. They suck. You're not my type. I think this is also probably advanced, honestly. I think you're not my type is kind of on the same level of like, I only date guys who blank, right? And it's just the same thing as like, well, I am now. You just kind of ignore it. But a lot of guys, again, they get deer in the headlights here. A lot of these, like I said, the final boss and the advanced ones, it's mostly that emotionally it's hard to not react in the moment. Checking your phone for too long. I'm going to put this in rookie difficulty. It's not hard. You just say, hey, get off your phone. That's all you have to do. And if she's like, oh, but why? It's like, well, why are you on a date and you're just on your phone all the time, right? Not very hard. Okay, a real man would. Okay, if this is playful, this is really kind of rookie to deal with because it's so ridiculous. Like if a girl's like, a real man would blank, yeah, I guess I'm a woman. I'm transitioning now. And you just make a joke out of it and you move on. It's not a big deal. But if she actually says this to you, like in a relationship, fuck that, get the fuck out of there. That is really fucking bad. If you have a masculine feminine kind of dynamic in the relationship, it's very disrespectful, and she knows it's disrespectful as well. Spend more time with me. This is also final boss difficulty. When you really like a girl and sex is good and you want to hang out and have sex and hang out with like a girl that you really like, it's very hard to like do your own shit, but you need to have some bare minimum stuff that you always do consistently, like going to the gym, getting work done, even like working on passions and hobbies and projects or whatever. Like that kind of stuff is really important. Having your alone time, that kind of stuff is very, very important. Posting on our story while you're undelivered. You could say this is a sign of disinterest. I would just say if it is a shit test, it's very easy to deal with just because you act like it didn't happen. You don't care. It's not that big of a deal. I'm busy. I'm busy. She is not busy. She doesn't want to hang out with you. It's a sign of disinterest. That's just what it is. And finally, I have a boyfriend. This is like a rookie difficulty one. I'm going to tell you exactly how to handle this. So when a girl says she has a boyfriend, all you have to do is just say, oh, cool. How long you guys been together? Then she says, oh, blah, blah, blah. And you go, oh, cool. So it's not that serious. And when she says that, right? If she says like, oh, a couple months, oh, cool. So it's not that serious. Then that's when you're going to get a real gauge, especially if you showed up confidently. This will never work if you're not confident, if you're not doing all the basics in your approach that I talk about on this channel. But that's when you're going to get a real vibe of how much does she actually have open in her mind that she could go on a date with another guy. Because a lot of times girls will say, I have a boyfriend, just out of like firewall response. Get this guy out of here, because most guys are not attractive. They don't know what they're doing. But if you can say this and you've been confident for the first couple minutes you talked to her, then she might be like, oh yeah, I guess it's not that serious. And then you can continue the interaction and it's not that big of a deal. All right. Let me know what you guys want to see from me in the future. If you want to see me do more tier lists, you want to see me do more breakdowns of whatever, let me know in the comments. What kind of content do you guys actually want to see from me? I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.